please. Shut the door. You're going to be here with Daddy? You'll stick around? Okay. Let me brother to use. Okay, I'm going live soon. Walaikum assalam. Salam alaikum and good evening. Just in time, brother Nazir. Salam alaikum and good evening to our audience at fb.com/BRTUK. Thank you very much for joining us in this very, very special episode on this 1st of December 2020. 24 days till Christmas, and it's the season of goodwill, and that's exactly what we're looking for today. As we are joined by Mr. Nazir Ali, ex-chairman of Bangladesh Regional Trust UK, and a friend and a core volunteer and member of Bideshi Vibes team. And joining him is Brother Islam Uddin, Director of Global Development Foundation and the Bangladeshi Regional Trust. We are live with you today for a very, very special fundraising evening on behalf of Bangladesh Regional Trust and also Global Development Foundation for the beautiful people of Rohingya. Now, first and foremost, let's just go into Brother Nazir Ali. You just made it in time, Brother Nazir. Thank you very much for setting this up. How are you?
I was looking for my T-shirt. You know, I just couldn't. It had to be a logo one. You see, that's why I do apologize for turning up a bit late, but better late than never, I guess.
Well, you look amazing. You look amazing, Marshall, and we can definitely see the Bangladeshi Regional Trust branding on your T-shirt as well, which is very, very important. And joining him today is our Director of Global Development Foundation and also Bangladeshi Regional Trust, Brother Islam Uddin. How are you? And salam alaikum, and welcome to Bideshi Vibes.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing really well. Really excited to be on the show. I've watched a few other shows, and I didn't think I'd be on it this soon.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. But I can assure you there's no quizzes today. It's a different type of show today. And we're very excited to be actually doing our first fundraising event on Bideshi Vibes with our audience and hopefully the donors and friends of Bangladesh Regional Trust and the Global Development Foundation. It's a wonderful cause, Brother Nazir. Please speak to our audience and tell us what exactly we're here to do tonight.
So, Bismillah. Tonight is all about fundraising for a very worthy cause. The Rohingya community, as you know, about 1 million of our friends from our neighboring Burma were displaced about 2 years ago. And they're in the region of Teknaf, Cox's Bazar, where I have personally been to the camps a few times. I know Islam Bhai have been there several times, more times than me, under various hats. And those particular community are heavily dependent on aid, and the condition they're living in at the moment is very dire situation. So what the government has decided to move 100,000 of those refugees, because it's overwhelming at the moment in Teknaf. So to move them to a new island that only appeared about, I think, 2 decades ago, about 20 years ago, this island came about in on the Bay of Bengal near Bangladesh's Chittagong, I believe. And they've been moved there recently. I think the move is imminent. And so BRTUK, as part of our partner agency on the ground, Global Unnayan Seva Songstha, GAS, we are one of the chosen 22 charities by the government of Bangladesh to work with these Rohingya communities in the island called Bhasan Char Island, which will be exclusive for these 22 charities to support the government in their daily needs. Like BRTUK have opted to provide for household and hygiene products, and Islam Bhai can expand a bit more on that. He's done a lot of background work to what we are about to embark on. So inshallah, amra shokolo aya okhta sajjo kortam, but this is a very worthy cause. And Rohingya, as I keep saying, it's out of sight, out of mind. People don't talk about Rohingya that much. It's not a a subject that's in the minds of a lot of Bangladeshis at the moment. There are antagonistic views about the refugee situation. So we cannot forgive them or give up on them so easily. They are in our country, and they have a priority of certain basic human rights that we need to provide, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. We will actually talk about the Rohingya and their plight. And actually, I personally feel humanity owes them something, actually, because they have been very neglected. We will get into them and regarding the current desperate situation they're in. But before we do that, Brother Islam, let me bring you in. Tell us, our audience, about the challenge today. What are we here to do?
Okay, so BRTUK, we've just taken part in the Giving Tuesday contest that's being run by LaunchGood. So this is a contest where charities launch their campaigns and invite donations, and it's a 48-hour contest where the charity that raises the most money within that 48-hour period will win an additional $20,000 on top of whatever they raise, or the charity that has the most number of donors will also win $20,000 in addition to whatever they raise. And the prizes go down. So the second place charity will get 10,000, and then 5,000, and it gradually goes down. Now, this is an amazing initiative by LaunchGood, where we can raise a lot more money than we normally would. And as you've both said, the Rohingya are very deserving of any support that we can provide, and they are the lost people, and the UN described them as the most persecuted people on planet Earth. So that says something. It's not you and me saying it, it's the United Nations saying that. So when they say that about a group of people, it tells you how dire their condition is. So what we need is, for everybody watching, please go online, go on to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity, and donate £5, a minimum of £5, and that will count towards our entry in the contest. And I'm hoping that everybody who's watching will make a donation first, and then go on and pass on the message to family, friends, contacts, so that we can get as many donors as possible to try and win one of those prizes, to help us with our campaign to help the Rohingya people.
Fantastic. So basically, this competition, and which is the competition, is a fabulous initiative by LaunchGood, actually. This is actually purely based on the amount of donors, or is it based on the quality or the amount of donations? So are you looking for quantity of donors, or are you looking for the quality of donations? Which one are you after today?
The contest is both. So the campaign that raises the highest amount, and the campaign that has the most number of donors. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to compete with some of the larger charities out there. They've already raised quite significant amounts. So what we're going for is is maximum number of donors. So this is why we're saying just go and donate £5 if you can. Obviously, if you can donate more, it will go towards helping the Rohingya people. But donate at least £5 and get family and friends, at least 5 other people to make donations, so that we have a better chance of winning one of the prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. So those viewers that are watching us, the Friends of Bideshi Vibes, and also Bangladesh Regional Trust and Global Development Foundation, we are here to hopefully make Bangladesh Regional Trust climb the leaderboard, and we'll go into the current status at the moment. But the competition here is to get the maximum amount of donors that we can. You don't need to donate more than £5. If you do, mashallah, it's brilliant. But what we're looking for is a minimum donation of £5. But for this message to be spread to your friends and family and to social media network, we are looking for quantity of donors and not exactly the quantity or the amount of donation to win a fabulous prize of $20,000, which basically will be massive, absolutely huge help. To do that, you need to go to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. We will keep on repeating that. It's on our screen as well. But please, whoever's watching, and I'm sure a lot of you are, please visit launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. First and foremost, donate yourself and become a donor. Then spread the message and the link to your friends and family and your social media networks. Get them to get involved. It's a fabulous cause for a group of people that United Nations have said are the most persecuted currently. We will talk about them in greater detail later. With the money that will be generated, inshallah, or the fabulous work that Bangladesh Regional Trust have already done for the Rohingyas and obviously in the refugee camps so far, what are the goods or commodities you expect to buy and contribute towards the livelihoods of Rohingyas, the community?
So this campaign is for the families that are about to be moved to Bashanchar Island. And this is, as Nazbai said, it's reclaimed land. It's an island that appeared about 20 or so years ago. And the government has built a purpose-built camp there now. For anybody who's been to the Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar or seen them on TV and online, you will know how congested and how crowded that area is. It's a very small piece of land in Cox's Bazar. It's a very hilly land. So building things, accommodation, shelters is very difficult. So the government has decided that they're going to build a camp on Bashanchar Island, and they are going to provide the accommodation. And at the moment, that's all they're doing. They're providing shelters. Alhamdulillah, it's good quality shelter. All the houses are built high up, so to reduce damage by flooding, and they have cyclone shelters in case of cyclones, because this is in the Bay of Bengal, about 2 hours boat ride from Chittagong. But the government is only providing accommodation, and obviously these people need the basic necessities for life, so food, clothing, etc. What BRT is doing is through our delivery partner in Bangladesh, we're working with a group of 22 charities, and it's a coordinated response so that not all charities turn up with the same goods. So what we have done is undertaken to provide household goods, so things like cookware, buckets, plates, utensils, and hygiene packs, so feminine hygiene products, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, etc. for some of the families who will be moving there, inshallah.
Fabulous. We do have some promotion material for this. Please, can we have the promotion material on screen for our audience?
I mean, this shows the goods that are being transported to the island. These are the donations already taken place as we speak. This only happened a couple of days ago. So we bought these items from reserve funds, and they're just being transported to a depot within Bashanchar Island, and you'll see as it's being unloaded, inshallah. So that the amount of goods there is almost £10,000.
So these goods are being placed in the warehouse. Now, the government has built purpose-built warehouses just for the charities and NGOs who are there, who are helping the people, inshallah.
Some fabulous work there. We saw some great images of actually logistical support being provided to the existing Rohingya community there. Now, coming back to the question, this I've been doing a bit of research, actually, not much, but I've heard about Bashanchar and the product as such. It's basically a relocation and remobilization of an entire new city, although it's in the island. There's supposed to be 100,000 people relocating and building a community in general that will have its own markets, its own infrastructure, and create its own livelihood. Am I correct? That's exactly what Bashanchar is, this particular project.
Yes, it is. So the Bangladeshi government has, like you say, built a town. So this is a almost self-sufficient in that it has its own power station, solar powered power station. It has biogas energy. But what's lacking is the daily needs of the families who will be moved there. So 100,000 people will be moved there out of the million or so who are in Cox's Bazar. And it's up to the charities like BRTUK to provide for the needs of the families who will be there, inshallah.
And just to add, the way is that all the houses are built on stilts. I mean, it's above the ground, and so there's the issues of flooding and all that is minimized, as well as there's several cyclone shelters within these complexes. There are cyclone shelters built in, so it kind of shows that a lot of thought and effort's gone into building this resort type of location. I mean, if you see a YouTube video on Bashan Char, I mean, we may want to play that later on your show. But it's amazing the way this Bangladesh has developed that island. It's unbelievable. It kind of seems like a holiday resort, but it is a refugee camp.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been dubbed the refugee island. I think it's a fabulous initiative. I believe there is a bit of reluctance currently at the moment from the Rohingya community about relocating there because they feel they're away from Bangladesh and the hustle and bustle of Bangladesh in general. They're worried about the economic development and their livelihood. But this particular initiative, first and foremost, you've got to credit the government for actually making the space, providing some kind of shelter, which is always the first foundation to hopefully build and develop and grow from. Everything else will follow later. I believe the work of the charities and the NGOs, such as Bangladesh Regional Trust, will not be ending with this after this particular campaign. It's going to go on for decades and decades until the community or the city as such or the island becomes self-sufficient. You're watching fb.com/BRTUK. It's a very special episode. We're fundraising fundraising evening on behalf of Bangladesh Regional Trust and the Global Development Foundation. We are raising funds for the Rohingya community, the remobilization, the relocation of 100,000 people to this beautiful resort island, which is Bashan Char. It's not the Palm Jumeirah. That's not what it's there for. It's to serve a different particular purpose. How you can get involved is very, very simple. Please go into launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Go in and minimum donate £5. That will include you as a donor, and then please spread the message and pass the link on to your friends, family, and social network. The aim and the objective here, until we're off air, is to get as maximum number of donors as possible to this particular cause, and it's a great, great cause. Now, you guys have been involved. I mean, I know, Brother Islam, you've been involved in the charity work for decades now, but Brother Nazir also has similar kind of expertise and experience. Please tell our audience a bit more about Bangladesh Regional Trust and when did you actually get involved in helping the Rohingya community and try to find a solution for them?
Bangladesh Regeneration Trust has just gone past its 10-year of existence. So within the 10 years, Bangladesh, it has achieved immensely. The work in Bangladesh with our partner agencies, we've done a tremendous amount of work. And with the Rohingya itself, we were there from the outset. I think when not many charities were down on the ground, we were actually one of the very few working on the ground with our partner agencies. When the first cohort of the refugees were there before the recent exodus, we were there helping them with hygiene products, food packs, and toiletries, dignity packs, various just humanitarian stuff, just to allow people to settle in. And then over the last 3 years or so, we've helped establish the health post, which we can also show you the video if you really want to look at some of the work that we're doing. So this health post serves 6,000 men, women, and children for their medical and health needs in the Ukia Teknaf. And we support, along with a few other charities, we support their medical and health needs. And BRT UK have a £30,000 commitment to support the ongoing health post, inshallah.
And we do have some video of you doing some fabulous work. which we're now just going to be showing and bringing to our audience right now, about the brilliant work that Bangladesh Regional Trust has been doing for the Rohingya community. Some lovely images there once again of some very impressive work being done in Rohingya and in the camps, the refugee camps by Bangladeshi Regional Trust. This tell us a bit more about Bashan Char, the island. So there's 22 charities, of which Bangladeshi Regional Trust is one of them. Every charity has something different that is being brought to the table that they are contributing. How, in terms of the fundraising done by Bangladesh Regional Trust, from the minute the funds are raised, then you use your support partner, Gus. How does the logistics works from there? So what happens from that moment onwards? Can you tell our audience?
Excuse me. So the delivery partner we have in Bangladesh who's working on this project is Gus, as you mentioned. They will normally do a needs assessment, and when they did that with the Bashanchar project, they did it working with the Prime Minister's office, and there was a group of 22 charities formed, and between the charities they've split excuse me, the needs of the people. So some of the charities will be providing food, others will be providing clothing, others like BRTUK will be providing household goods. So once we made that decision, we discussed with Gus the best way forward, and they suggested that these are the things that we can deliver. And obviously they've been doing this sort of work for a long time. They have active projects in the camp in Cox's Bazar. So they've got access to the materials, the goods that are needed. So we give them the instructions, and they go out and acquire the products or services that are necessary, and then they go and deliver to the Rohingya. In this case, they working very closely with the government, because the only way to reach that island is by boat, and the Bangladeshi Navy is, alhamdulillah, helping, being very helpful. And providing transport for all the charities to get the goods onto the island.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Bangladeshi Navy have been heavily involved, not in terms of reconstruction development, but I believe they've also made it into very, very green a village as well. It looks very beautiful, actually, from the clips. Sorry, excuse me, from the clips I've seen. In terms of our audience today, I mean, it's not many charities have physical logistical presence in the points of help and support centers wherever charity wants to help. With Bangladesh Regional Trust, they do have that with the support button. So your funds, whatever you can contribute tonight or even after tonight on launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity, every single dollar, every single penny is actually going physically into the camps and to improve hopefully the livelihoods of the Rohingyans and help them settle in their new home and a new space that have been given to them, and the world is actually watching just to see how they are settling down. To contribute, you need to go to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. It's not about the amount you donate, although you need to donate a minimum of £5. It's about the maximum amount of donors that Bangladesh Regional Trust for this particular project can attract. So please, once you have donated your £5, please share the message, share the link to your friends and family and to your social media network. Now, Brother Nazir, what would you like to say our audience for them to get in touch and also to start actually donating, but most importantly to spread the message?
So basically, as you explained, this unique event we are participating in, it's the Launch Goods 48-hour challenge. So in the 48 hours, there's two challenges here. One is for the highest amount donated to a charity. And the second one is the unique individual donation received by a charity. So BRTUK is one of those charities participating in this event, along with over 100 other charities. So we think we have a unique project here. Not many people are doing what we are doing tonight. We are supporting Rohingya, but the Rohingya particular cohort of Rohingya that are moving to Bhasan Char, and they need basic necessities like the stuff that we are providing, the household goods, the hygiene products, the general startup packages that they need for survival out there on this new land they're moving onto. So hence, I believe this is a unique charity. You just need to donate £5 minimum, and then forward it to your friends and family. At least get another 20 people or so. Collective giving. As we know, this is what our religion tells us to do. Even if it's a small amount, if you do it regularly, consistently, get more people involved. Let everyone benefit from this rewarding work, and inshallah, the charity benefits, and ultimately the people on the ground benefits. And this amount is operating on a 100% donation policy. This particular project is for the entire fundraise will go to its cause, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. Brother Islam, what is the current position at the moment? Obviously, this is a 48-hour challenge. It's actually very, very exciting. It's almost like a Champions League competition between all the charities. So it does get very competitive. Certainly during Ramadan, I participated in many of these with BRT UK. What is the current position so far in terms of the number of donors you've had into the page so far, and also the actual amount of donation?
I think we're about halfway on the league table, and on both of those, the number of donors and the amount of donations. But it's important that we actually let people know that the campaign has been running since 5 a.m. Yesterday, and it will close at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So this is Launchgood is an American company, so they work to American times. So we need to get the donations in before 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's basically tonight. We need to encourage everybody to go online and make a donation. Go to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity, and then it's all about the numbers. It's about getting as many people as you can to come and support us. And it's not just it's fun. It's exciting thing to do, but that's not the reason why we do it. This, at the end of the day, is to provide essential services to the Rohingya refugees. These families are being moved to this island with nothing. All of these families will have lost everything when they left Myanmar to come to Bangladesh, when they left the persecution, the horrors. SubhanAllah, as Nazbay said, I've been to the camp so many times. I understand some of their language now, but I've spoken to people right from from September 2017. when the current influx started, and I was there 2 weeks after people started coming through, and the some of the stories that I heard, subhanallah, they're harrowing, things that will haunt me for the rest of my days. I guess it's unbelievable, the cruelty and brutality that these people faced, and I can still, if I close my eyes, I can still clearly see the faces of some of the people that I spoke to, and they were the lucky ones. They're the ones who managed to escape. I've seen people who've had their entire families killed, burnt alive, even, and they managed to escape with only the clothes on their backs, and in some cases with just some clothing, not enough to cover themselves. So it's really important that we help these people and provide as much assistance as possible. If you've seen the images of the Rohingya in the camps, you will have seen the shelters that they live in. These were very flimsy bamboo structures. The government of Bangladesh didn't allow any charity to build anything more permanent because they didn't want a permanent Rohingya settlement there, which is understandable because that area is a poor area in itself in terms of resources. There's very little resource there. There was no road infrastructure, although that's changed a little bit now. So there was nothing permanent there. They've taken the decision to build a permanent settlement on Bhasanchar Island, and they've been working for the last 3 years and have built a really, really good island, a really good camp. But that's as far as they can go. And I was asked by somebody earlier saying, why isn't the Bangladeshi government providing them with the food and clothes and everything else that they need? It's very easy to malign the government and say the government should be doing more. But if you look at what they've done, Bangladesh is a poor country. You need to remember this. Bangladesh is a poor country. And the work that the Bangladeshi people and the Bangladeshi government has done is amazing. Just to give you an idea of the size of the camp, there's over 1 million refugees in Cox's Bazar. Now, that's the size of Birmingham City. The population of Birmingham City is about 1 million. So that number of people suddenly coming into the country, and for the government to mobilize and help them, they've done a tremendous job. And they are doing as much as they can. Like the Navy, for example, is providing all the logistical support to the charities to provide aid. The Bangladeshi government has been, the army has been instrumental in running the camp in Cox's Bazar. So the government is helping, but at the end of the day, there's only so much Bangladeshi government can do. So this is why we need charities like BRTUK to come along and our donors to come along and provide the extra assistance that the poor Rohingya families need.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me, brother Nazir. Not only do the current Rohingya community or refugee. I don't like using the word refugees because it's changed its meaning. It used to be, the word refugee used to mean compassionate, you feel emotional, I feel sorry for somebody. But it's been so demonized in the media over the last 12, 15 years. It's almost very, you feel you have to think 2 or 3 times before using the word refugee. It doesn't mean what it should be doing in terms of refugee being a refuge. But in terms of the current problems, not only is there resettlement, but you've also got the matter of currently COVID at the moment. So that on itself has its own complications. Would you not agree?
Yes, most definitely. Obviously, COVID is impacting the entire world, and Rohingya are no exempt from this. So I think they have got a double whammy, to be honest, double catastrophe. I mean, the situation is really bad in the camps. You know, they're already congested into little kettle rooms. And on top of that, COVID, social distancing, I don't think it's possible. But I do believe there are measures in place. There are a few hygiene protective equipment being provided. A lot of people are wearing masks. The hygiene in terms of cleaning hands and facilities are there. The government, the UN, few other neighboring countries, including Turkey, plays a big role in supporting these communities out there. Yes, they're here not for short term anymore. I mean, initially it was just for survival. Now it's become a more rehabilitation into our society, into Bangladesh.
Mm.
We are looking at a very long time before anything can be considered for their repatriation to Burma, which doesn't seem like anytime soon. So yes, we need to help the community. We need to help. We need to come forward, however way we can. Yes, tonight is this appeal, but we are not here just for one night. We BRTUK here for the long term. We are working with the Rohingya for a long time, and we want to continue working. And we need your support. And without your financial support, there's not much we can do. Charity, bread and butter, it's the donors. So if the donors don't donate, it's just going to dry up. And I know it's a financial crunch out there. The people are very much affected by COVID. The economy is in a situation across the world. So you can tell wisely, the charities are going to be the biggest victims of this financial crisis. If people don't come forward supporting small charities like ours, then not much can happen on the ground. And BRT UK fortunately works with the government, so we can actually reach out to places that many bigger charities aren't allowed to go in. So that is a good thing from our point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a phenomenal achievement, actually. I mean, even larger charities would not have permission to go in and intervene and provide solutions. Like Brother Nazir said, I mean, this project and this campaign is not only for tonight, it's there, they are there for the medium and for the long term. And you can get involved at any time you feel on payday, any particular week, any particular day. Bangladesh Regional Trust, alongside Global Development Foundation, are heavily involved and have logistical support, actually physically present in the campsites in Bangladesh, in the refugee camps, and obviously now with the new community at Bashar Nachar, which is very beautifully named. What I wanted to ask is, the Bangladeshi government, I mean, it's a very beautiful gesture what they've done. I mean, creating a purpose-built city, it's not an easy job. It costs a lot of money. But they have also been heavily criticized regarding their certain neglect of the Rohingyas since obviously the unfortunate war in Myanmar, or the what you consider the criminal, the let's just say the mass genocide that have been committed on these people, where they've had nowhere to go, but they've ended up in the Bangladeshi shores, and rightfully so. As an Islamic republic and as human beings, we should be taking care of those that are vulnerable. They've done fabulously well for this purpose-built city, but they've also taken a lot of criticism as well. Do you feel it's been fair on the government? I mean, starting with Brother Islam, do you think the criticism that's been labeled at the Bangladeshi government, in terms of maybe even some individuals, some MPs, I've seen comments where they've been extremely nationalistic and not having welcomed the presence of Rohingyas in their unfortunate situation. Do you think they've been given enough credit for the job they've done, or do you feel they could do a lot more?
I don't normally like talking politics. I'm not
We're not talking politics.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Bangladeshi government, but I have to admit, having seen what the government has done, I think they do get a bit of a raw deal. Yes, they could do a lot more. No solution is perfect, and what they have done, given the resources that are available, given the timelines, I think is phenomenal. I'd like to see more being done, and I think it's important that we encourage people to be more aware of what's going on with the Rohingya. There's a lot of misinformation being spread within Bangladesh, outside of Bangladesh, within Bengali communities. It's important that we get the right information and we find out what actually is happening on the ground. And whatever influence we have, we should apply that within the government, within the infrastructure that's there, and work with other charities, other organizations who are working to help the Rohingya. Brother Nazir alluded earlier to the fact that these people are going to be here for a long time. It's been, well, the recent influx started 3 years ago. A lot of people don't know that the Rohingya have been in Bangladesh for a long time, since the 80s. I think the first camp was set up in 1982. Even as far back as 2014, when I first started working with the Rohingya, there were about 400,000 refugees already in the country, 200 legally in UN run camps, but then there were about another 200 that had come through. So all in all, there are over 1 million people, and as I said, the size of a major city, a UK city. And for the government to do what they have done so far, I think is to be applauded, and we should encourage them and support them in their efforts to do more, rather than criticize and badmouth the government. Some people like to do that anyway. When it comes to Bangladesh, anything Bangladeshi, they will say it's deficient, it's not as good as. But it's all a matter of perspective. We are talking about providing basic necessities. Now, what is a basic necessity? Some people, it means different things to different people. And if I can just briefly, just want to recount a story. If you go onto launchgood.com/Rohingya dignity, you'll see a picture of an old lady leaning against a wall. Now, this is a lady that I met on one of my trips there, and sat down and had a chat with her. And she at that time, it's about 2 years ago, she was 60 years old, and she had traveled to the refugee camp by herself. She was helped there by some of her neighbors after her whole family, her husband, her sons, their wives were all massacred. Now, she was telling me that she had everything. She smiled at that time, a beautiful smile, saying, "I had everything." Her family were wealthy. They had a lot of land, they had businesses, they had a farm, they had fishing businesses, and they were well off. Now she has nothing. She lives in one corner of a refugee shelter that she shares with another family. And she was saying the one thing that she misses most is fish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people, that's no big deal. Some people never eat fish, right? But for her, this was something that she really missing, because, as I said, they had fishing business, they had fisheries, and it was one of the things that she really enjoyed. Now she's saying, "I've been in Bangladesh for 7 months, and I haven't had fish," and that's something that she's really missing and yearning for. And I remember thinking at the time, of all the things that you could ask for, it seems very strange to miss fish, but that is what she wanted. That's what she designed, and it made me think about what people want and what people need, and the big difference, and the needs of the Rohingya people in those camps. So we need to provide. Obviously, we need to provide whatever it is that they need to survive. We need to provide them with food, with clean water, with clothes. But in addition to that, because that's what most people think of when you hear about a charity appeal for the Rohingya, you think they need food, they need water, they need clothes. But we also need to provide them with the necessities of daily life. We need to provide them with cups and plates so that they can eat from them, or crockery so that they can cook their food. And these are things that most people don't think about, but they make a huge difference. A huge difference between collecting water in cut-off Coke bottles. I've seen this, people taking water from ditches and small streams in Coke bottles, or half a Coke bottle. And if you can give those people access to clean water, installing water wells, and give them containers where they can store the water and collect the water, it makes a big difference to their lives. And obviously we can't give them back what they lost, but we can do something to restore normality and to restore their dignity. So this is why we've called this campaign Rohingya Dignity, and we hope that everybody who's watching will go online to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity and make a donation, a minimum of £5. And more importantly, it's to spread the message. And we only have tonight until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning to make that difference. So get on the phone, send out messages, send out this link, and get everybody to donate, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Brother Islam said, it's not about the amount that you want to donate tonight. It's about the amount of donors that you can entice and attract and pass the message on. That's exactly what the Bangladesh Regional Trust needs. And you can do that at launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. It's a fabulous cause from a fabulous group of people that have been neglected by the world. And we'll come and talk about the neglect shortly in a bit more detail. But in terms of giving levels of support, yes, of course, the £5 are important. That's the minimum you can do. Passing on the message is very, very important. The charity, the Bangladesh Regional Trust, would like to win the $20,000 bonus challenge from LaunchGood. However, if it's not possible tonight, this campaign is not just for tonight, or it started yesterday. The Bangladesh Regional Trust have been supporting the Rohingya community for a very, very long while now, and will continue to do so. And this campaign will be with us for the medium and the long term. Now, tonight, if you cannot, apart from your donation of £5, if you cannot attract other people or send a message on, there's also different levels of support that you can do continuously every month or every single particular year. And for example, there are different levels of tiers that you can do. £5 supports the BRT work, £10 does the same, 50, sorry, a donation of £55 can support an entire one family for a whole year with hygiene and household goods, which is exactly what the £5 campaign is all about. Then £110 will support two families with hygiene and household goods that they will need for a whole particular year. 165 supports three families, and also £275 will support five families. 550 will support 10 families. Now, if you cannot make a difference tonight, what you can do is you can set up regular standing order, regular direct debits to this particular cause on whichever tier you want to support this particular campaign with. I think one of the major difference, and I will ask Brother Nazir the question, the Rohingyans, one like Brother Islam said, there's 1 million people that have been displaced from their spiritual and their ancestral land. They are now on the outskirts or inside Bangladesh. The future for Rohingyas is definitely they're Bangladeshi citizens, are they? Not moving forward. Do you think this campaign, for example, in 6 months' time, if it was launchgood.com/Bangladesh Dignity, do you think that will make an impact in 6 months' time? I mean, they're not Rohingya, they are Rohingyas, but they're not from Myanmar anymore, are they? They are Bangladeshi, correct?
Yes, if I go back a bit, where Islam Bhai said, and you talked about Bangladesh government, whether they're doing enough or not. I mean, how many first world country on this planet can cope with an exodus of 1 million people overnight? You know, within a week, 1 million people moved, got uprooted, their homes were burnt, they were burnt alive, the families, the men were taken away from the families with children, and they were burnt alive. How many people turn up to a impoverished country like Bangladesh? It's not in the first world, as you know.
Yeah.
It's already overpopulated. It's had almost 160 million people in a very small delta country like Bangladesh, and then we are coping. Even I don't know what people say. You know, some people are against the government and such. I'm not. But what this government has done, they came out and said, look, if we are going to eat, if the people of Bangladesh will have a meal on the table, so will the Rohingyas. So they are up to now have provided a lot of support within the camps. Yes, a lot more can be done. Some of it is a slow progress, and it will happen, but some major countries have not come in to support Bangladesh because for whatever reasons, it's not happened. And so it's down to the charities to help out as much as we can
Yeah.
as part of our humanitarian efforts. And BRTUK is one of those charities that have made the commitment with our partner agency, GUS, on the ground, and we will carry on, inshallah. So we just need your support. Yes, these families are here for long term. Yes, I know if we, instead of calling Rohingya, if we said the need is for Bangladesh, the actual contribution probably would have been a lot more. But
Significant.
they have rehabilitated into the country. Some of these people were actually workers. They were in the fishing industry. They had good income generating businesses back in Rakhine estates. They've taken all that from them, and so if we can if we can rehabilitate them, provide the actual tools for them to come back as human beings into the country of Bangladesh, and they can start contributing to the country like any other citizens of that country, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. To get involved, it's launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Please be generous. At least do a donation of £5. At least get yourself involved as part of the as a donor, and then spread the message and pass the link on to your friends, family, and social media network. Ideally, they would like to win the $20,000 bonus. I mean, which charity wouldn't? It accelerates the project, accelerates the support and development that they can provide. However, this project is not overnight. It's not just for tonight. It's here for the very long term. And please, can we have the promotion material again for the wonderful work that BRT have done in Rohingya and the current project that they do have? If we do have the video once again, please, production chief. Some fabulous work previously done by the Bangladeshi Regions Trust. Very, very impressive. For our viewers out there, we're so fortunate that we have a warm home to go into, I mean, beds to sleep in. We don't have to worry, or we won't even, I can't even bear to imagine the thoughts of being in the situation of the Rohingyas and what currently they're going through, the emotional state, psychological state, physical state. The only support they're receiving, apart from whatever they can do in terms of Bangladesh government assistance, and they have received some, is through the help of charities such as the Bangladeshi Regional Trust and also all the others. And desperately, if we do not help these charities, if we do not contribute towards them, if we don't donate towards them, these charities do not have the funds or the resources to logistically go and make a difference to people that we would like to help and support. I mean, watching those images and videos, if it doesn't tag your heart and mind, then I guess you really need to have a look at your emotional intelligence and your emotional feelings as well. The challenge for tonight is very, very simple. Launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Please go in and donate a minimum of £5. But more importantly, even more importantly than you donating, is actually pass the message and spread the link, launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity, to your friends and family and your social network in order to maximize and get as many donors as possible, and in order to help and support the Bangladeshi regional trusts compete for at least the $20,000 challenge by the online charitable platform, which is Launch Good. Now, what in terms of the actual support, for example, when do you expect the relocation or the remobilization to start taking place? I believe there's a target of 1.5 years in mind. Is that correct? Is it from now, or did this start about 12 months previously?
The relocation is about to start any day now. So they will start with initially, I think, 1,000 families. They will move, and then eventually 100,000 Rohingya will be moved to the island. It's a huge task. As I said, the island is a 2-hour boat ride from Chittagong. I was about to say Cox's Bazar. It's from Chittagong. So the people need to be moved initially from Cox's Bazar to Chittagong, and then from there need to be transported. Cox's Bazar doesn't have the facilities to transport people, that number of people by ship. So it's an immense task, and it will take quite some time. But it will start. I suspect it's going to start within the next few days, because the charities who are part of this coalition to support them have started working there. As you saw in the video, our delivery partner Gus, they've already started taking goods to the island and putting them in these warehouses ready to distribute when the Rohingya are moved, inshallah.
Absolutely. Brother Nazir, obviously tonight is just a one-off event that we are doing with what you guys are doing with Launch Good. But the project, this is not where the project ends. Like I went through, £550 supports 10 families over the year. £275 supports 5 families over the year. Those that are watching at the moment, or those that become friends through this particular fundraising evening, how do they stay in touch with the progress, and how do they contribute regularly? What do they have to do?
I mean, they could follow us on Facebook. Facebook is the best way. We are always active on social media. So we have a Facebook presence, we have an Instagram presence, we have a website. I mean, most people know who's involved with BRTUK. It's been around in your face for a very long time. So we are there. We are part of the community of East London. So most people can get in touch with us. We have the website and everything, so it's not a difficult way to get in touch. And if you follow us on social media, and it's not that difficult to find us, really. I mean, we've been doing a lot of work in Bangladesh for 10 years, as I've said before, in the region of the 3 strands of work that we concentrate on is the education, health, and livelihood. These 3 strands will be replicated in the Rohingya regions, not just for Sylhet or Dhaka or other mainland Bangladesh. It's for everywhere. I mean, for our education work, we are looking at what is known as the Student Investment Program. We're trying to identify highly talented but poor individuals in rural schools. So we will be going talent spotting across Bangladesh, inshallah, in the next few years. We already have 26 such students that we are helping regularly for their academic needs, for them to eventually become something of worthy to recontribute back into society. Like we have helped 1 or 2 girls become teachers in government-run schools. That is one of our achievements. We also have in the education strand, we have a institution, a women's-only college in a region of Bishnat, which we have providing the needs, education needs for women. I mean, girls are very difficult in rural areas. Hence, we have focus on women, for girls to be educated at metric secondary school level, and then they can go into university in the mainland Sylhet and other cities. And we are slowly seeing girls from rural areas moving into mainstream education and getting mainstream jobs.
Fantastic. And this is all through the initiatives led in the United Kingdom by Brother Nazir and obviously the Bangladeshi Regional Trust UK, which Brother Islam is now continuing all the great work and providing his support. You told us about your visit to the camp and you told us about the horrific and desperate stories. Why don't you lighten the mood? Tell us about some good stories. I heard the spirit of the people is amazing in terms of how desperate they are. They still hold on to their belief. They're still spiritually very, very strong. And some people may say, I hate the world, but apparently the attitude in Miami is completely different. Tell us some stories, some positive stories that you saw there, the spirits and the character of these very unique and special people.
One of the characteristics of the Rohingya people is that they are very religious. They're very practicing people. And one of my best memories from my visits to the camp is coming across a Hafiz who was 110 years old.
Oh, my
110 years old.
Yeah.
He still remembered the Quran and he was reciting, and there was a group of people sitting around him. And it was surreal to hear such beautiful recitation in the middle of this camp, this scholar, and then to meet this Hafiz and to speak to him and to hear about his life. It was unbelievable. And then the children, it's always the children who give me more motivation when you see the smiles on the faces of the children. I'm just trying to get some photos over to a producer so we can show you some of the pictures. And that is the biggest motivation when you see little kids who they queue up with everybody else when there are aid distributions, because at the moment this is the only way the Rohingya people are surviving. The only source of food, water, etc. is what charities provide, and these are usually distributed at distribution centers. And you see the people come and line up to get their aid pack, whatever it is. And you see these kids will come along and line up, and sometimes when they come because they're the only person from their household who can come along. And I've seen little 10-year-old boys come and try and carry a sack of food and not being able to, and then having to drag the sack along. But even then, this one particular boy, he was playing as he was dragging the sack behind him. He was trying to hop and skip and kicking like little paper balls around. There was another scene where we climbed to the top of this hill to go and see a particular location where we were going to provide a water well. Sorry. And there are guard posts. So I mentioned earlier that the Bangladeshi government, the Bangladeshi army rather, is playing a big part in managing the camps. So they have these posts on the top of hills. And just underneath, again, these are temporary structures built with bamboo. So if you can imagine, if you've seen any sort of war movies, you'll see posts where you have soldiers with guns and binoculars or whatever. And you had these Bangladeshi soldiers there. And then underneath, you had two boys who were playing with a ball made of bamboo. It's something I'd never seen before. They'd taken very light, very thin sheets of bamboo and fashioned it into a ball. And they're playing, what do you call this? I think kick-ups, where you try and keep the ball in the air and not let it drop. And these were like 10, 12-year-old little boys wearing lungis and just playing underneath this structure where you had soldiers on top with guns. And somehow the children are resilient, right? They are so resilient. So these guys were playing as if they didn't have a care in the world. But that forces you to think about what's happening there, what's happening in the camp to these people. And you think this is what these children should be doing all the time. They should be playing, they should be happy. But then you hear other stories of the suffering that they've not just faced in Myanmar when they were there, when they were escaping. I met a boy who was shot through his stomach while he was escaping. But they're in the camps as well. And initially there was a big shortage of food. There were, on my first visit, on the second day, there was a stampede and several people died because people are so desperate to try and get the food packs that were being distributed. So children should be happy and playing all the time, but they can't in these camps because the shortage of food and other basic necessities. Inshallah, let me try and get some of these pictures to a producer to see if he can put them up so you can see.
Yeah, these are some amazing stories, actually. I mean, you're telling me what 10 or 12-year-old carrying a aid bag and support. You know, I can't see my 14-year-old carrying a Tesco bag, and there's 10 or 12-year-olds carrying the aid that have been distributed, which is amazing. It shows the resilience of the people there. And I mean, the international community has been completely unfair, has completely neglected them, and has completely isolated them from the rest of the world. So it is up to us now. It's us, the people over here in the United Kingdom, or those that are watching the program, or those who are supporting charities, to provide as much support as we possibly can. And we can't physically do it, but these charities such as Bangladeshi Regional Trust, they have logistical support in Bangladesh, in and around the refugee camps of the Rohingyas, in order to deliver your funds and the goods that you want them to do so. And this is the type of project and the charity that you should really, really be supporting. Now, tonight is a very, very special episode. We are here to fundraise for the Rohingya community, a project and an initiative by the Bangladeshi Regional Trust and the Global Development Foundation. We are joined by ex-BRTUK chairman, Mr. Nazir Ali, and also current Global Development Foundation Director and a BRTUK member, Mr. Uslam Uddin, who are currently telling us about the stories of the campsites. You can get involved and support and be part of this fabulous initiative by going to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Today, all you do, you donate £5. You can donate a lot more, but you donate £5. But most importantly is you pass the message and spread the link to your friends and family and your social media network. What the Bangladesh Regional Trust are looking for is to maximize donors this evening up until 5 a.m. American time zone, where they want to compete and be in a position to win the bonus of $20,000 from LaunchGood, the online platform that brings all the charity and its donors together. Brother Nazir, I've been looking at Basha Nachar actually, and I've got a lovely aerial view from Google. It looks like a very beautiful island. Now, moving forward, in terms of livelihood and support and for economic development, I think tourism might be a fantastic initiative for this particular island, don't you think?
Bangladesh haven't really focused much on tourism. I mean, it's trying to develop its infrastructure and
tourism to Bashan Char.
I mean, Bashan Char, you won't get many more people on the island. I'm afraid it's already reached its capacity with the 100,000 or so people that would potentially be moving there in the next couple of years. So the first cohort of 1,000 going immediately after the next few weeks, I believe. So there are other various parts of Bangladesh that you can travel, and BRTUK, Bangladesh Regeneration Trust, is known for its heritage tour. We are in a unique position with our partner agency. We have actually traveled many parts of the country where not many people have even considered themselves, like the places like from Teknaf to Tatulia journey that we've done from 0 point up north to 0 point right down to south. It's an amazing journey we've done a few years back, but we also go on an annual tour of the country, and we go to Cox's Bazar, where most Bangladeshis go for their holidays, their national trips. But outside of that, you've got the St. Martin's Island, which actually have a lot of Rohingya people settled in the island, but it is such an amazing untouched beauty of Bangladesh. very underdeveloped, but still have a beautiful Bay of Bengal around the island. And if you do a 1 or 2 days journey there, have a barbecue, stay with the locals, see how they, how their livelihood works, and get involved with charity work. There are a few major, mainstream charities working on the island, and join BRTUK if you want to see some other amazing places in the future, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bashanchar is not very far. Well, it's actually an island in Upazila, and I know, having been obviously a friend of yours for a while now, and obviously part of BRT as well. You've done a lot of work in Upazila. Tell our audience a bit more about the Bangladeshi Regional Trust and the various projects that you have done over the last 10 years or so, and you're continuously doing.
I mean, unfortunately, because of COVID, we weren't able to have a celebration. We wanted to gather all our donors, our supporters together under one roof and celebrate our work, and also, give something back to the donors, as well as always not just taking stuff from the donors, taking funds from the donors. We want to share some of the journeys that we've done together with our donors. So inshallah, we will go and do something like that in the future, when if Allah wills and if time allows us to come back to normality beyond the COVID crisis. But BRT UK have been doing a lot of work in the education, as I said, and health, livelihood projects. We are embarking with this new journey that we have merged with, inshallah, in the next few weeks, you'll hear some good news. We are merging with Global Development Foundation to do bigger and better projects in mainly developing the livelihood and the livelihood and the health sector, which we have not touched much, other than the Rohingya side of things. We have done little health initiatives across the mainland Bangladesh. So we're looking at doing more work, because a lot of our donors come from the Sylhet region, and I mean, it's only fair that we give a bit more attention to that area. So we, with Islam Bai's expertise on working the charity sector, we are developing more work around the slums of Sylhet, working with young children with cataracts issues that not other mainstream charities are working with, and it's some niche that's been identified that needs emergency support from BRT UK, and going forward, this summer we want to focus on something along those lines. And another thing we want to develop is the microfinance, giving people grants. These rural communities, the women up north, or down south, they are really people are very economical with the money. If you give them some money, they could turn it around into a business that they can have a livelihood from. So we're looking at giving like a farming, like poultry, or animal rearing, goats and other types of animals that have a longevity to and a quick turnover. So it's like giving microfinance, but getting money back after a agreed term. So that fund that comes back to more people going forward. So it's something that is in its early stages, but we want to expand it across various parts of Bangladesh.
No, absolutely. I mean, your microfinancing project, you could quite easily use it for Bashanchar. I'm pretty sure they will need it moving forward for sustainability and for growth. You once again, to our audience, you're watching fb.com/BidderShivives on this very, very truly special episode today, fundraising for the Bangladeshi Regional Trust and the Rohingya refugees. If you are watching, please go to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Please donate £5. Please pass and transfer the link to your friends and family, and then social media network. We have until 5 a.m. American time to get as many donors as possible to donate. It's the quantity of donors we're looking for, not exactly the quality of it right now. And hopefully it provides some kind of foundation, a platform for the Bangladeshi Regional Trust to win the $20,000 bonus prize, which hopefully they will do. But this is not an overnight project. You can get involved in this particular project and helping the Rohingya community long term. If you visit, for example, the Bangladesh Regional Trust, you'll be able to find out a lot more about them and their webpage and their Facebook page, all the amount of projects that you do. But if you want to specifically help the Rohingya refugees, and I hope you do, and I hope we all do, then for £550, you can support 10 families for the whole year. For £275, you can support 5 families. For £165, you can support 3 families. For £110, you can support 2 families. And for £55, you can support 1 family throughout the year. Just before we leave, just a quick word from you, Brother Islam. How does everybody get involved in this fabulous project? And what message do you have, firstly from you, and then from Brother Nazir to our audience who have been watching us patiently, to get involved and help you out in this particular project?
So first of all, like you say, we'd love for everybody who's watching to go onto launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity and make a donation, a minimum of £5, and then more importantly, pass the message along and get friends and family to do so. And that gives us the opportunity to win some prize money, with which we can help more Rohingya people. But the other thing I'd like to do is remind people that in our religion, one of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says that the best charity is that which is given regularly, no matter the size, even if it's something small. The best is that which is given regularly. And on that, I'd like to throw out a challenge to everybody who's watching. Set up a standing order. Set up a standing order to BRTUK for whatever amount you can comfortably give. It could be £5, it could be £10, it could be £500. Whatever your ability is, set up a standing order and let that run for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. If after that you find that you're getting poor, stop it. Cancel the standing order, right? But my belief is you will not even feel it. Set up a standing order. So, for example, if I can give £100 a month comfortably, let that run for a couple of months. I most likely won't feel the loss of the £100. In fact, what might happen is the opposite. My risk might open up. My business might do well. My prospects might improve. I might get a better job. I might get more money. But set up that standing order and help us do the work that we're doing with the Rohingya refugees. Like I say, this is not the competition is for 48 hours until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, but the Rohingya project is going to be here for years and years, and as long as they're here, inshallah, we'll be there to support them.
Absolutely. Brother Nazir, Brother Islam just said set up a standing order, and then after 2 or 3 months, if you're getting poorer, then you obviously discontinue with the standing order. You've been doing charity work for 10 and 15 years. Nobody gets poorer by paying in regular charity, do they?
No, I mean that would go against the hadith. You know, if you say if you're donating to charity, you're getting poorer, then the whole concept of charity would collapse. So for me, what I'm saying is get involved, get hands-on experience of charity work. That's the only way you could actually experience some of the stuff that the poor people like. And unless you see it yourself, a lot of things you won't believe that is happening in this day and age in this world. So get involved. You don't have to be BRT UK. There are other charities you can get involved. But if you want to experience Bangladesh, then join BRT UK's journey. I mean, we do an annual heritage tour. Unfortunately, as I said, because of COVID, we couldn't do this heritage tour. Now, it would have been in February, but there are still a glimmer of hope that we can carry on with this heritage tour. If not in February, probably later on in the year. But come on this heritage tour, contact us. I mean, this charity is yours as much as it's ours. You know, the responsibility does not just lie on the people who are running the charity. It's a collective, communal responsibility, and every single one of us would be asked on the day of judgment, what have we done for these Rohingya people? Or what, you know, we had the ability, even if we were just to make a dua for them, that is something they're not doing anything at all. But for tonight, it's about donating the £5 towards the Launch Good appeal, Rohingya, launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. This is an initiative that we've embarked on. Yes, we may not have been the top 1 or 2 that would get the $20,000, but we want to be in the top 10, inshallah, to get some funds. There are different categories of prize funds from 20,000.
We may have lost Brother Nazir. Unfortunately, his Wi-Fi is broken down.
Last words before we end the show is do get involved, however way you can. find us on social media, and especially the sisters out there. This is our next vision, is to get more sisters involved at the management level, at the top of the charity. And this is what we want. And we don't want to be just like there forever. We are not a charity that wants to continue, the trustees are on board forever and end, and not coming off and not giving others the opportunity. We are here. If someone's better than us, by all means, come through the system, come and find us, and then take over from us. It's not a problem. Sure.
Absolutely, such a very beautiful message there for our watching audience today. That was the Bangladeshi Regional Trust team of Brother Islamuddin and Brother Nazir Ali. Sincere gratitude and thank you for them for attending at such short notice to do this fundraiser with us. My message to the audience is pretty simple. If you can get involved tonight, hopefully you can do individually. I mean, you just have to go to launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity, make a donation £5. Please pass the message and the link over to your friends and family, and at least make an attempt for the Bangladeshi Regional Trust to at least compete for the $20,000 bonus prize. However, this particular project, you can get involved. You can find Bangladeshi Regional Trust on Bideshi Vibes. A lot of the founders of Bideshi Vibes are members of the Bangladeshi Regional Trust. We are very biased towards the Global Development Foundation and the Bangladesh Regional Trust. We're not going to hide that at all. It's a fantastic charity, and I've been very privileged to be part of it for the last 8, 9, 10 years, and having met some of these brothers as well. There is one thing I would like to say regarding charity. You can pay in £5, £10, £15, £20. You might feel a sense of loss. Most of you wouldn't do, but there's one thing that money cannot buy, and that is the emotional high of doing something good. No drugs, absolutely no intoxication can actually replicate the emotional high of doing something good, a particular moment or a particular day or a particular month. If you set up a direct debit or a standing order to the Bangladesh Regional Trust for the people of Rohingya, I can assure you every single month, when you know that the money is going to be taken out, you will get an emotional high and an energy that any money in the world cannot buy, because you know what, you're doing something really good, and the inside is that, and your niyat and your intention is absolutely pure. So buy that emotional high. You can't buy it in the markets, you can't buy it in the stock market, you can't buy it with success. This is something that comes from your inner self and your inner spirituality. Am I correct, guys?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching. You've been watching fb.com/Bideshi Vibes with the Global Development Foundation and the Bangladeshi Regional Trust.
When is your next, the most important show coming up? I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, fb.com. Nazir Bhai will be back with us on Sunday. fb.com/Bideshi Vibes will be live again this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. A very, very important topic. We'll be discussing the issue of Islamophobia, and it's time to eliminate as Muslims being the punch bag of society, politically, economically, and socially. We will try to make an attempt. We'll be joined by Mr. Harun Rashid from the Muslim Council of Britain, and it's not going to be an easy conversation for him, but we will do whatever we can to support the MCB and obviously make changes, not for the Rohingyas. I mean, in fact, talking about Islamophobia, one of the reasons why the Rohingyans have been neglected by the international community is because they're Muslim. That is correct. Am I correct? That's exactly what Islamophobia is. Look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. My sincere thanks to the brothers here. fb.com/Bideshi Vibes, launchgood.com/Rohingya Dignity. Please donate. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bye-bye.